Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the second installment of a three-part series. This is a series where I'm trying to show you guys exactly what you need for the sexy time summer allure. These are fragrances that go off fresh, tangy, sweet, zesty, and sometime and often alluring and sexy as stated. If this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuance of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. We're going to dive right into this list. As I stated, this is the second part in a three-part series about the sexy allure of niche and luxury designer fragrances. These are scents that come off very alluring sexually, often sweet floral or sweet citrus, but sometimes they have a mix and match of different fruit accords, wood accords, and some spices to bring about a great nuance to a summertime vibe. First off in this list, I'm going to present you guys with one of my favorites from BODICEA. Now that the scent has been macerated, this scent is glorious, and it is one of the best when it comes to Christian Parmesano's light-wearing summertime fragrances on the market from him and his representation, what he likes to do with his compositions. This scent here, when I picked it up, I smell and have a desire to sometimes have the green apple smell on my skin. Everything what I found out earlier from a designer fragrance called Dunhill Red, which then I think smells like either Lafayette Street or B9. I can't remember which one of those is, but that scent always kept with me. And this one here is when I sampled it, I got some of the fresh, uplifting take of green apple along with a rich, beautiful sandalwood accord and a mid of a great soft spiciness with a rose accord in it. So if you're looking for something that's a very luxurious and elegant style of fragrance as a mature adult, sophisticated adult going into the summertime for evening wear and sometime playful day wear, this is a great scent for you. It opens with a very authentic smelling accord of fruit nuances. It comes from everything from raspberry, green apple, elemi resin, which is a slightly lemony fresh style of resinous balsamic touch to certain fragrances. It comes off very fresh when you put it in along with frankincense and or fruits. It makes it a more rounded and developed fragrance around the top, mid, and base with that elemi resin. This one then goes into a mid with the heart just is the spiciness of this, but it's not something that's overdone with a lot of resinous heavy feel to it. It's something very uplifting that people do with their cardamom and nutmeg is when they're formulating these fragrances nowadays, which is one of the best components of this one. It then goes into that very berry-like raspberry accord going through the fragrance, holding its own across every accord and every note structure, the head, the heart, and the base of this. And it's going into that cedar wood, oak moss, patchouli, and sandalwood base with a slight sweetness from vanilla. A very wonderful warming touch of guaiac wood and ambergris in this as well. So it's a slight Selenic smoky style in the base, but it's nothing that's too pungent or powerful to overpower the mid of freshness, fresh spices, and the heart or the head of berries, apple, and pineapple, and then the heart of nutmeg and balsamic notes and jasmine and rose. Once again, this is the scent BODICEA the Victoria Glorious, phenomenal, fresh take on citrus accords, apple, elemi, peach, plum, raspberry, a mid of spices and rose and jasmine, and a base of very authentic smelling sandalwood. None of the deal from sandalwood, but the great touch of sandalwood is in this one. Vanilla, patchouli, cedar, and ambergris. Once again, glorious by the house of BODICEA the Victorious, a great summer pickup. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the most sought-after, perennial sought-after fragrances for summertime heat. This is the scent NERLOOI Portofino by the house of Tom Ford. Making sure nothing's on my blotter. This one is one of the classic smelling fragrances of summertime for many of us that got into this hobby 10, 12, 15 years ago and have been a mainstay in my collection and in my hobby and my journey throughout summertime fragrance, where this is a scent that's very fresh, citrus, aquatic leaning, very green, very floral, and it's one that sends a signal of cleanliness. It has a very nice sweet odor, floral fresh odor, which is very powerful, very citrus tonality to it, and has also some green-like components that can be resemblance of the scent of orange blossom, but this one much more of a floral scent to which meets like a delicious, authentic tang and zestiness of citrus accords. It's a very intoxicating, very celebratory type of fragrance. Powerful, clean, It sparkles at the top notes of bergamot, orange blossom, and mandarin. Then it goes into a nice woody base of amber and vanilla. This, done by Rodrigo Flores Rue, is a great fragrance from the house of Tom Ford. Many people wear this scent. I wear it more often than not when it's very, very high heat. Something that is very calming, very relaxing. It's very therapeutic as well, the way that neroli really uplifts you, and the components around the floral accords and the orange mandarin make you very much so a vibrant feeling headspace for yourself. And that's one thing that I love about Neroli Portofino. It comes off very, very clean, very, very bright, very effervescent in the way you want to be smelling in summertime heat. Once again, this is the scent Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. Get your nose on this one, guys. Clean scent. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is one of the House of Creed's best summertime fragrances. People give a lot to Himalayan, the scent Himalayan. I forget the total name of it. I never purchased that fragrance, but that and Silver Mountain Water, which is one of my favorite from the House of Creed. But for me, summertime wear is something that comes off as authentically beautiful as it can ever be when you purchase the scent Virgin Island Water. This is a fragrance that is very much so evocative of a vacation in a bottle. That was a statement that was made directly when I first smelled this. This was something that I could take with me anywhere, in any vacation setting, high heat, and very much so enjoy it. From the tropics to the sand dunes, anywhere I'm going where there's high heat, this is something that goes along with me. This is a very fresh, fruity, sweet, and creamy fragrance. It's really built around a very authentic coconut and jasmine smell in the mid. Coconut and coconut milk are in this. It's a concoction that really screams vacation wear. It reminds you of walking through resort towns. It reminds you of walking through Ocean Boulevard in Miami. It reminds you of all the things that you associate with summertime heat and just relaxing vibes. Nothing. It doesn't have to be anything overdressed. You can wear this with your everywhere from your swimwear to just a pair of shorts and t-shirt. This is a very, very luxurious smelling, authentic smelling coconut, and that's one of the best things about this. It also has the components of it in the mid, which are jasmine and white blossom, that go along with the opening touches of lime and bergamot with a fruity sweet accord to it as well, and revolves around a nice clean white musk and tonka bean sweetness. But it's a very the thing about this one, the characteristics of it that I enjoy the most when combining those white floral mids and coconut along with the opening of lime, is a very tangy, tenacity filled, perfectly balanced fragrance that has a lot of masculinity to it, very suave, and has a heady characteristic that you won't complain about at all. You will smell very, very wonderful and have people drawn into you, sexy and alluring feeling for you. And that's one thing that we all strive to have when it comes to a summer fragrance with a lot of fresh accords to it. Very versatile, very delightful scent, transparent, luminous, everything you want in a fragrance that comes off well in the summertime. Virgin Island Water, House of Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here next is a fragrance from the House of Fragrance Du Bois. Let me show you guys the total presentation. This is one of the very best. Given this as the note structure that you read off it does not convey at all the note structure. This is one of the best sea breeze fragrances on the market to date. Like I stated, this one here is just beautiful, spicy, woody, fresh, resinous, and fruity. It has some components to it that should scream to you fall and winter wear, but the way that this has been formulated and the notes that have been given, it has to succeed to some of the things that are not in it, which I say is a great oceanic sea breeze accord, just almost like a mountain fresh air that comes off of this one. It is just filled with all the fresh components, just as beautiful as you want it to be. It's opened up with a mandarin orange, a cardamom, and nutmeg. The scent then profiles itself as a mid of this floral citrus, a slight bit of frankincense and myrrh, and that frankincense is one of those fresh ones, just like the Elemi Accord can be fresh in some instances. Some of it is called the Hojari incense, and that Hojari incense is a very fresh green smelling incense made from frankincense accords. And that's one that I think many people who are into incense, when I call that name Hojari, you'll understand the great comparison to different incenses which are heavy. This one is very light, very green, very vert when it comes to the wear, and has that oceanic sea breeze feel. It's a very intoxicating infusion of all these things that create notes that are rich, long-lasting, and dynamic on the skin. I very much so enjoy this one. It goes into a nice, sexy, seductive base of Opopanax, Styrax, benzoin, myrrh, and oud. And the oud in this one is Fragrance Du Bois Authentic Vintage Oud. It never comes off medicinal. It always comes off smooth, woody, and rich. If you guys have not heard about this one, this is one that is a summertime panty dropper for you guys to get your nose on. Very rich, authentic smelling, spicy, woody, and fresh that I love wearing in summertime heat. Once again, Fragrance Du Bois Oud Blue Intense. Get your nose on it. Phenomenal. Next up, guys, as we wander down this road of beautiful, alluring, and sexy summertime fragrances, I would be amiss if I did not guide you guys down the road of Petite Matin by the house of Mason Francis Kirkjohn. Now, this one here came out with a tandem with Grand Soir, and I swear both of them, if you haven't seen my tandem review on the two together, these are great combination fragrances, but we're going to get only into the scent of Petite Matin, which is morning freshness of Paris in summertime. This is an Ambroxan Bomb done by Mason Francis Kirkjohn. It is one, if you love the way Mason Francis Kirkjohn comes across with his ethereal amber-like fragrances that come out slightly transparent and luminous, this is one that permits an extending trail while adding an incomparable smoothness to any fragrance and to your sensuality and your skin complexity. This is filled with great citrus, fresh and floral, creamy sweetness that is from the Calabrian lemon, a great Brazilian orange blossom, Ambroxan, of course, as I stated, which is the just sensual part of this, musk. It has a very appealing fragrance note and accord to it in the mid that is called Listia Cabiba. And that one there, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It comes off fruity nuance, and it comes off fruity nuance like osmanthus. So if you guys are aware in this journey that you're going through, finding out the floral accords, osmanthus and there's other Polynesian style of florals that come off like frangipani, which is fruity floral accords that this one has, that Listia, and this one has that in the mid of it, which very much so makes it uplifting fragrance, because those fruity fruit forward florals, say that 5 times fast, are grand when it comes to summertime heat. They really mask all of the nuances of some of the citrus fruits with a great floral tonality to them that brings a lot of character to the scents. This one also, to me, has a great aromatic touch, which I think comes from a sage and lavender mix. Note structure, usually I think it said Ambroxan and lavender from Provence, which is one thing I can say I do smell, but I certainly smell either something a sweet basil or a sweet sage in this as well, which makes it a grand fragrance. Once again, Petite Matin, one of the very best from the house of Kirkjohn when it comes to sweet smelling Ambroxan bomb fragrances that really take some of his structure and his identity and wrap it into a bottle for summertime wear. Petite Matin. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, what I have for you here is a scent from FRAPIN, the liqueur house out of France, and this is Luminis. Luminis is a fragrance that many people have said they have bad experiences with the longevity and performance of this particular scent. As with many on this list, it's a summertime fragrance for me. I overspray these fragrances, and with this one, I have yet to have a bad occasion where it didn't go off, if not well, for a 3 or 4 hour time span, it went off better. I do understand that it does not pop off the skin, but sometimes perception and subjectivity of those type of nuances are things that we all must consider when we wear these fragrances. How are we moisturizing? How are we spraying? And where are we spraying? This is one that I think comes off great with a fresh citrus spicy greenness that is very, very evocative of gin and tonic. Luminis really knocks it out the ballpark when they invented this particular scent. This was done by Sidonie Lansassoure, who is a great perfumer. And I do believe that if you look up this in the market, they have come out in 2024 with a extreme version. I've not smelled that fragrance, so I cannot say comparatively that it smells like this one. But this one is the one that I love to wear in the summertime, consecutive summers of at least 6-7 years now. It comes off with a great touch of juniper and thyme in the heart of this fragrance with nutmeg and peony, which makes it very vibrant, very lush, very fulfilling of a cheaper style of fragrance. But it goes off so well because it has those uplifting citrus accords in the top and that gin note in the base with a long prevailing note of oak moss that really makes this, to me, the calling card of the fragrance. That oak moss is very smooth, woody-like. It has a very forestation style over the citrus and gin notes, which makes it very much so a sexy, sensual calling card fragrance, because oak moss usually comes off as an evocation of a gentleman, an evocation of a sexual innuendo when women smell the oak moss in the air, because it's a yesteryear fragrance that is passed down through lineage, and women really love that cheaper style on men. Very refined fragrance. Tonka bean is in this one. Black pepper, cardamom, pink pepper spice. Very uplifting, very lively fragrance that I enjoy wearing in the summertime. And I think you will too if you get your nose on it. Don't listen to too much of the negativity about it. It's a very affordable fragrance that comes off great in summertime wear. I think it's one that will stay as a staple in my collection forever. That is Luminous by the House of FRAPIN. All right, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, in this two-part series, or three-part series, I should say, list number 2, I'm going to show you guys a fragrance that I've tested over the years, a couple years now. When it first came out, I tested it and pulled for a bottle of it. And this is ISOLA BLEU. Now, I think ISOLA BLEU is a fantastic, phenomenal fragrance. I did a connoisseur's conversation about 4 weeks back explaining my love for this particular scent. I'm a very big fan of ROJA Parfums, so take this with a pinch of salt as I speak about ISOLA BLEU. This is the baddest, one of the top 5 summer fragrances for me of all time. The way that this comes across is very, very evocative of a sophisticated, mature, sensual, alluring, just fantastically a king amongst kings. I could say all the adjectives that will go along with a fragrance like this, but this here for me is one of the most fantastically built fragrances when it comes to longevity, scent profile, evolution, the actual commentary and comments that you get, the compliments that you get, the scent and what it makes me feel, at least, is one of the best on the market. And ISOLA BLEU very much so is one of, to me, ROJA's magnum opus fragrances. It's a delightfully uplifting fragrance to wear. It has some just grand freshness, great citrus accords, great spiciness, just beautiful floral accords, greenness. And at the end of the day, it's a woody fragrance that revolves around all those citrus accords and aromatics that makes it one of the best on the market, I must say, in my honest opinion. Of all my fragrance collection and sampling, this is one of my top 5, as I stated. This is built around lime, bergamot, a very beautiful accord of what else was in this? Lime, bergamot, black currant was in this. Champaka leaf and champaka flower is in this one. It has a base which had a reminiscent feel of the Luminous, which is like a juniper / gin and tonic feel to it. It has a oat moss, a mate, a vanilla in this one. A very stunning, stunning, stunning fragrance to anybody's collection. If you have not got your nose on ROJA's ISOLA BLEU Parfum, I think you should. You're doing yourself a disservice if not buying yourself a nicely 10 ml to 7 ml decant of this to just have it as your evening wear as you go out and get one of the most luxurious scents on your body in the summertime of 2024. Once again, ISOLA BLEU. If you want more about this particular scent, go back about 6 videos. I have a connoisseur's conversation. You should see the thumbnail. It's very evocative of the bottle, and it's going to tell you everything I feel about that. But all in all, to top this particular part 2 of 3, ISOLA BLEU from the House of ROJA Parfums. Great fragrance, phenomenal fragrance. Ladies, gentlemen, that is my video for you guys today. As always, enjoy your life and enjoy your time. This is one of those great lists for you guys to enjoy the summertime with. And as always, if you found anything entertaining and or educational about this content, all I ask that you do is hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, and then send this off to a friend if they enjoy fragrance-related, wine-related, and cigar-related content. As always and forever, till next time, until next video, peace.